What's up, guys? It's Carson back from Toxic Gaming today. And today, guys, we have P4G Week 2 going against Jacob, coach of the Green Bay Pikachus. Again, I know, or not again, but I know there was not a team builder this week for this battle, and this battle's going up a little later than usual. This week just kind of got away from me. It was really hectic as shit and stuff like that. And really, the team when me and Jacob fought, it was kind of like we were both a little pressed for time as it was. I was pressed for time to make the team, pressed for time to get our battle, blah, 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 all those things. So everything just is going to be kind of piled into this video. I will have a timestamp on the screen for when the battle is if you do just want to skip this stuff. But basically, to start off his draft and everything, just to go through it first, is Lando T, Blacephalon, Tentacruel, Porygon 2, Mesprit, Alolan Executor, Mega Mawile, Jolteon, Umbreon, Mienshao, and Omastar, or Mienshao, whatever. Either one of those two. And looking at as his team, Lando T combined with Mega Mawile, like intimidating in the beginning, that was going to be really something I had to watch out for. I needed to break through P2 as early as possible. And then I needed something to keep late game for Jolteon, so I just didn't get, like, you could say a reverse sweep by Jolteon. For Blacephalon, just like it is weak, but I needed something that could outpace it at times. Stuff like that. I wasn't too worried about Alolan Executor. Mesprit could have been interesting. Like, it was one of those mons that could be kind of really anything, and I needed to try to figure out which one it was. Lando T, I expected, I kind of not used to the whole 1Z crystal type thing. For League, and so the entire game, as you'll probably see, I was playing as if it was the regular Z Fly Lando. Well, Jacob's Z Crystal is Ground EMZ, so it could have been Z Earthquake Lando. I just completely forgot about the one different crystal, so that's a little thing for the battle. Mienshao was another one I was kind of worried about, like, just kind of taking me out. At the end game, like, my end game against his matchup, like, didn't seem very strong, in my opinion. So I was a little worried about that, but to start off our team, we start with Rusev, our Bandit Araquanid. Bandit just works with Liquidation, Leech Life, Sticky Web, and Toxic, 252 HP, 252 in attack, and Adamant, and then 4 in special defense. Basically, again, Liquidation, Leech Life, basic stab moves. I had Sticky Webs again because, you know, like I mentioned, the Blacephalon, the Jolteon, anything like that could, like, potentially reverse sweep us in the Mienshao. If I could get webs up and slow those down, it would really help out one of the other mons on our team, and just actually overall as well. So it really was just to slow down, not so that Araquanid could do things, but so that our other mons could be able to do things a lot easier. And then I put Toxic on Araquanid because, basically, I could see one of the switch-ins to Araquanid being the Umbreon or the Porygon 2, depending on which one he decided to bring for bulk. Really, those were the only two like that, or maybe like a Lando T, and once, like, it was something like that. He's like, he doesn't have many for an actual, like, hard switch into Araquanid. Tentacruel kind of, but it's still gonna get chunked. Like, everything on this team does get chunked from the Araquanid, so having Toxic as a 4th move, it would help if I was gonna predict being able to cripple a wall for Araquanid later. Basically, that was all it was for. I just needed a 4th move. Next up, we have Randy Orton, with his name actually right this time, with Zygarde being Life Orb, and Thousand Arrows, E-Speed, D-Dance, and Superpower. 28 in HP, 252 in attack, and then 228 in the speed. The Jolly Nature. Basically, if I remember right, the speed nature, I think, got me to outpace Scarf Lando. If I remember right, that's what I was doing. If I could get a +1, I would then outpace Scarf Lando. If that's in my head of something to do, what I was trying to do there. Basically, it's just kind of a basic Zygarde. I'm gonna try to treat Zygarde more in the next few games as hit first, set up second type thing. And I had the superpower for the P2 if I could get one big superpower hit on it, or if I had my attack boost from Dragon Dance, get again 2 big superpower hits on it, that'd be really nice. E-Speed was a good priority. Again, me talking when I was saying about his mons kind of like reverse sweeping me, keeping priority on my team was really, really useful. And so if I could have as much as I really could have priority, I put priority on our team, and that's why we had E-Speed for it. Next up, we have Aiden English. I think this is the debut of Aiden English. Our Primarina. With a Choice Scarf, Moonblast, Surf, Psychic, and Ice Beam. 252 in special attack, 4 in special defense, and then 252 with a timid nature and speed. When I mentioned earlier with the Araquanid setting up webs, that's what this Primarina is like hoping to have happen, because Scarf, yes, outspeeds a majority of things, but there are some mons on Steam like Scarf Lando. Well, Scarf Lando wouldn't be affected by it anyway. But like Scarf Blacephalon, you know, if I can take any Scarf mons and make their scarves like not worth it, not usable, then Primarina can do things. And Scarf Surf hits a lot of his team really hard. Like Scarf Primarina with Surf Moonblast hits a lot of the team really hard. So that's really what I wanted Primarina to do. If it was going to be late game, great, but if it was kind of more mid game to pick things off along the way and just deal heavy damage, that could work too. Primarina is a powerhouse, so that's what I'm going with. Next up we have Maurice, our Sneasel with Life Orb as well. Ice Shard, Icicle Crash, Pursuit, and Knockoff. With 252 in attack, 4 in special defense, and then 252 Jolly in speed. Basically, when I was talking about having priority and stuff, Sneasel was another one that was needed with the Ice Shard. I had Pursuit and Knockoff because, like, if I could knock off good old, the Porygon 2, that'd be ideal. If I could knock off on an incoming, like, Mesprit, for some reason, if that's incoming, perfect. If I can knock off any Scarves, ideal. Any Rocky Helmets to get rid of those for Mega Kang, perfect. Anything like that, knocking off with just general. But then I put Pursuit on there as well, because, like, say he isn't Scarf Blacephalon, and he goes and gets a kill, or he gets the kill with, like, a Ghost move, something like that. I can bring Sneasel in, and it usually, I believe, even Ghost moves from Blacephalon don't kill Sneasel outright from a Scarfed one, and then I can Pursuit Trap him out. Kind of the same thing if it is a choiced Mesprit and a choiced move that will knock out Sneasel, I can Pursuit Trap those. That's kind of what I was going with for the Sneasel. Basically just Ice Shard and then Knockoff is the two main moves, Pursuit and Icicle Crash if I need them. It's kind of what I'm going with. Next up we have Kangaskhan or Mega with Mickey James with Fake Out, Ice Punch, Power Up Punch, and Earthquake. Now again, this is the league where I can actually get Power Up Punch to use it. 68 HP, 252 in attack, and then 188 in speed, Jolly Nature. Again, if I remember right, this is speeding base 95. So if 91 or 95, somewhere around there. That's what this Mega Kangaskhan is outspeeding. I had Power Up Punch, because if I could get, like, just a random Power Up Punch on something, like, say he brings in the Mega Mawile, like, for some reason to expect a normal stab, and I get the +2 with Power Up Punch, I outspeed and then Earthquake to KO after that. Like, that's really nice. Fake Out, again, the priority I was talking about earlier. Earthquake covers the Blacephalon and Jolteon, two things that I could see trying to revenge kill this thing. And if I was able to Earthquake them on the Switch, perfect. Basically, I kind of wish, post-game, you know, and me now, wish I had a different move instead of Earthquake, and I'll get to that when we get to the battle. But, again, that's what I went for with this Kangaskhan and things like that. And then finally, we have Spike Dudley, our Ferrothorn with Rocky Helmet, Stealth Rocks, Knockoff, Toxic, and Protect, 252 in HP, 228 in defense with an Impish Nature, and then 28 in special defense. Really, I thought about going Akaberry this week, but I'm not living a Mind Blow anyway, even with Akaberry, so it really doesn't matter. I wanted the Rocky Helmet, Iron Barb stuff for the Mega Mawile. I know I can get Fire Fang, but if I can like scout it for it with Protect, or if I can find out other ways that it doesn't carry Fire Fang, then Ferrothorn is my switch in to the Mega Mawile every single time. It's kind of like I feel like he needs either Dual Stab and then Thunder Fang and Fire Fang to really take care of both this and Araquanid, or he's not going to have one of those two fangs. Something has to give with the Mawile. He can't run everything he needs with it. So I really want to see with Ferrothorn get those that recoil damage stacked up against him. And again, Toxic Knockoff for the P2 primarily, Protect a Scout, basic thing with Ferrothorn. But as you can see you've seen on your screen for a little while, you can see what team he's bringing. He's got the Mega Mawile, the Wando, the Mesprit, the Blacephalon, the Porygon 2, and the Jolteon. Two of the things I was really afraid of for the reverse sweep is here. The bulk with P2 is there. Looking at this, I could have seen it, like, just from team preview being more of a bulky Lando T, but if he whipped out, you know, Rock Polish Lando T against me, I wouldn't have been surprised. Mesprit, I'm always kind of assuming it's either, like, Support Mesprit or Scarf Mesprit. Those are the two I'm usually looking at, and then the Mawile, I think, is just going to be his hard hitter. Like, that's really what it's going to be. But without any further ado and stuff, let's get right on into the battle. Alright guys, we're here with the battle, getting challenged by Jacob and stuff. If you guys did skip the team builder and stuff, I'll talk through some of the mons as we go through it. He sends out to start out his Mega Mawile in the beginning and everything like that. It is regular right now. I led off with our banded Rusev. It's going to hit everything super hard against this team. Even with this Intimidate, I could still threaten really hard or set up my sticky webs. I decided instead of like risking him having Thunderfang and losing something that hits so hard to the entire team early, I decided to swap into Ferrothorn. He was clicking Fire Fang this turn anyway. Like I really wasn't afraid of that. And if he set up, it's like, okay, well, I died to Fire Fang pretty much anyway with that, and he would give me taking the recoil damage if he didn't have it. He does get the Mega Evolution and stuff with the Mawile and goes right for the knockoff. So I do kind of lose my Rocky Helmet really early, which does kind of suck. Like, that really does suck for me. But he does get the recoil damage and everything from it already, which is really nice. Here he went for Taunt, and I was really confused when he went for Taunt here. I just went for Stealth Rocks. I was kind of expecting to get a Fire Fang here, but I was like, okay, I can live when I can get my rocks up. I should be able to. Went for the Taunt, and I was like, okay, so he probably doesn't have Fire Fang. So I stayed in here to do some damage and to get a knockoff on this or something else that came in. And he did have the Fire Fang. So I'm a little confused as to why he didn't just go for it the first turn if he was confident in me getting knocked out anyway. Like, I was confused. I probably should have clicked Protect, but whatever. Anyway, I go into Randall Orton here because I threatened this thing out 10 ways to Sunday with 1,000 arrows. And I decided to pull the double here, expecting him to switch out, going back into Rusev, knowing that really there's only one mon he can bring in on Zygarde, and that would be probably Lando T. And even with the Intimidate, Rusev can one-shot most Lando T's, so like I'm totally fine with this in front of me. Like I have no worries here. Again, I'm still in the back of my head thinking Z-Fly because I'm an idiot, but he does switch out here and goes right on into the P2, and we can see like this is a intimidated banded Araquanid doing hefty damage to a P2. This is a P2, and I almost 2-hit KO it after Intimidate drop. I'm like, okay, I have a very high chance 2-hit KOing this thing. I'm going to swap out, get my Intimidate back, go into good old fucking, what's it called, Sneasel here, expecting him to recover. I was kind of expecting that in the start here, and I was like, okay, he'll probably be afraid of the knockoff and swap out. So I'm going to get Zygarde back in here, him probably swapping out into the Mawile so we can protect the knockoff, protect his other items. I was pretty expecting for that. He goes for Trick Room, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, that's definitely a viable thing to do. Trick Room against my team isn't bad. But I'm the one with the Araquanid, so I decided to switch out here. I'm guessing he's going to go for Ice Beam. He's not going to go for a Electric move. And I go into Araquanid, and I'm like, okay, I have an Araquanid inside Trick Room now. Even if you are slower than me, you're not doing much damage to me whatsoever. And we've kind of seen that I should be able to 2-hit KO you. So like, I'm fine with this matchup. I'm fine with taking this Thunderbolt. It does a decent chunk of damage. I don't care. I'm clicking Liquidation. Something is getting 2-hit KO'd or killed outright. And we can see here, getting 2-hit KO'd to that P2 is going to be huge. He's going to recover here. I think he was kind of at this point like, fuck, I shouldn't have been doing, this is an issue. I kind of need to stall out the Trick Room turns. I'm just spamming Liquidation. There's no reason for me not to. So I'm guessing he's just going to recover out and stall Trick Room turns. That's what I'm guessing. But he actually decides to go for the T-Bolt here and get that little extra damage on, oh, not little, but like a 4-hit KO or something on Rusev. And I will pick up the knockout on good old fucking Duck Dodgers over there. 2-hit KOing a P2 is nothing to fucking deal with. And the dimensions now are back to normal. I think during the game I thought I still had one turn. I don't think I was paying attention that much. But even in, again, this matchup, I'm fine of killing him. And he actually goes for the Earthquake. I think that's why I stayed in here, because I thought I had one more turn, or that I could live this Earthquake. Neither one was correct. One of those things where I just gotta learn to like, click on the little icon of the Pokemon to check how many turns, because that's a thing you can do now in Gen 7. But here I decided just to go into my Kangaskhan. To me, a good time to Mega. I scare him out with Ice Punch pretty heavily. Like, I felt like I scared him out with Ice Punch a lot, and I could fake out whatever coming in. I could fake this out and not worry too much, get that extra chip damage on it. Anything like that. And I go for my fake out. He stays in, and I was like, okay, so what's the plan of him staying in? This is his Rocky Helmet mon. So I'm like, oh, this is kind of an issue. I believe take it out with the Ice Punch still this turn. So I'm like, okay, I think I can sacrifice the damage from Rocky Helmet and get a quick Ice Punch. This is when he swaps out into the Mesprit, and I'm Ice Punching now a Mesprit instead of KOing a Lando T, which is really unfortunate. This is when I kind of figured out, too, that really my Kangaskhan does not hit Mesprit well. Like, I didn't kind of realize it during prep that I just don't hit Mesprit very hard at all with Mega Kang. Like, Ice Punch, as we saw there, doesn't really do much. So I decided to go into Sneasel here. Probably not the best play to go into Sneasel against this, as he does U-turn. He could, if he would have had Focus Blast or something like that, I could have been dead outright. If he did Psychic, which would be cool, if he did, I could have been Pursuit Trapping him. That's where I was looking at. But now he gets the initiative stuff and going into his Jolteon, knowing he's faster than me, knowing I kind of have to quick Ice Shard here. I need this Jolteon. I was doing calcs at this point. I needed this Jolteon under a certain amount of health. I think it was I needed it under 94 health to get KO'd by Primarina later. He does kill me with the Signal Beam. I was a little thrown up by Signal Beam, not just T-Bolt, so I was like, oh, okay, that's a little weird. But I needed this thing at 94 health so that Primarina could KO the Surf later. So, okay, I should be fine here. I have Zygarde in. He's probably going to switch out, which he does. I'm like, I can get my setup here and either get an attack boost or get at least a speed boost. And he does go into the Lando T. It's kind of, you could say, dedicated thing to go against Zygarde and Kang, take them both on. I go for my D-Dance here. I probably could have just 1,000 Arrows twice and, done stuff like that, which would have been okay. But I decided to go for the D-Dance to get my attack back to normal after the Intimidate. And we're going to see 1,000 Arrows still do enough to where it is a 2-hit KO roughly from this range. So I'm personally perfectly fine with that as he reveals the Hidden Power Ice on this. And I was not ready for that. Good prep on his part. Really good prep on his part. And this is when he's going to switch out because he can see that I have a high chance of 2-hit KOing with the next 1,000 Arrows. He goes into this, and really it's going to be doing some damage to this thing as well. I don't remember what his Mesprit was, because I think I, for some reason, thought that I could 2-hit KO from here, or that I got a low roll. I believe that's what I was looking at in calcs. So for some reason here during the battle, I decided to just stay in 1,000 Arrows again. I think it was because I was thinking I got a low roll against it. But we see, like, I wasn't KOing it. I don't know what I was really thinking during the battle to just stay in like that. But he does go for the U-turn, does knock out the Zygarde, which is really sad. Really sad that I misplayed with that with Zygarde pretty poorly. He goes into here, I believe he goes into, yeah, back into the Jolteon. And here is where I kind of had, I'm going to pause the video after my Mega Kangaskhan comes in. And here's where I have an issue. Basically, right here, if he is at 94 HP, my Primarina has a chance to, I believe that's the highest roll to actually KO with Surf. So I was like, okay, if he's at 94, I get the KO. If he's above that, I won't KO this thing with Surf no matter what. I had, I believe, a pretty high chance or a guaranteed live of Thunderbolt if he was a timid Scarf set or anything like that. If he was really afraid of me Scarfing something and decided to go full speed Jolteon. And with him just clicking Signal Beam before and then popping right back out, it made me think that maybe he was a locked-in type of set. So I was like, okay, I have really two options. I can either fake out, take this thing guaranteed under the 94 that I need so that Primarina can kill this. Because if Primarina goes second, I still live, and then I kill this, and then I outspeed everything on his team. Or I predict him going into Lando T and click Ice Punch and just kill Lando T now. But then I would have to switch into Primarina, probably against this, to... and then save Fake Out to basically be my saving grace. And again, this thing wouldn't have been touched, so I would still have to guess that right now it's at its 94 HP. So I really had to either decide to click Fake Out, which I felt was the better option, or I had to click Ice Punch predicting a switch. If he didn't switch out here, and he just, say, clicked Thunderbolt, I was dead. I believe I was dead. If I remember right, Thunderbolt just KO'd me from here, really no matter what. So like I was really hoping that he wasn't going to be clicking Thunderbolt, or that he was going to be clicking Thunderbolt and staying in, going for that kill. And with me clicking Fake Out, getting him under that HP level, and then literally Primarina got a 5-0 sweep after that. We were looking at the calcs, and I remember I think I was looking at the calcs during the game, and the HP that everything was at, and the fact that I outsped everything, except for his Blacephalon, which I did find out was Scarfed, I outspeed everything besides that Blacephalon, then I killed everything. The Blacephalon set he had didn't have anything to hit me with super effectively. It would have had a ghost move, but if I was able to knock out this Jolteon and I stayed at full health, I won the game with Primarina. So right here, I had a decision to make. It was either Ice Punch, predicting a switch, being pretty aggressive, and if I failed, I'd lose, or going for the Fake Out, doing my best to actually guarantee a win. And if he switches, I just gotta deal with it after that. So I go for the Fake Out as he does switch out. He goes out into the Lando T. Again, I felt like I couldn't risk it. I couldn't risk him going onto this thing and just OHKOing this thing. I felt like I had to quick Fake Out to guarantee that Jolteon being low enough. It's one of those things where, like, Showdown maybe could have been told me a little easier if he was low enough compared to Wi-Fi, but either way, I had to Fake Out, get that extra Rocky Helmet damage, and now go again with the Ice Punch. I think what it was is that if I would have Ice Punched outright, I wouldn't have been at this low a health, and Thunderbolt might not have killed me, and I could have killed with a Earthquake follow-up. But here, he knows his Jolteon will kill Kangaskhan. He's hoping I don't have Sucker Punch, and at this point, if I would have had Sucker Punch over Earthquake or Power-Up Punch, I could have guaranteed this Jolteon in. As I was talking in the team builder, there's one move I wish I had. It would have been Sucker Punch. As now I come in with Primarina, I'm going to be clicking Surf because it's my only option. I go for the Surf.
It's Rusev Day. It's Rusev Day.
Are you sure about that?
And he lives. He lived on 2 HP. He was 95 HP. And we got 93. So we got really as high of a roll as I could have really hoped for. But we found out later he was at 95 HP. He was an expert belt set, which is why he actually got the kill. When I was thinking Scarf and Calkin Scarf, and I would have lived that. But if I had Sucker Punch to just chip him down a little bit extra, as we saw, it would have had a kill, and then Primarina would have killed the Blacephalon outright, because I would have been at full health, take whatever move he had. I believe he would have had to have been a ghost move, because I think he had 2 fire moves on it. We saw where Mawile was. Mawile was in range to get killed, and he didn't have Sucker Punch on the Mawile. And Mesprit was fucking low as shit health already. So Primarina would have had this, not 5-0 at that point, but would have had the 4-0 sweep if I would have got that Sucker Punch off. If I would have had Sucker Punch, I would have got a 4-0 sweep with Primarina, or 4-kill sweep, whatever you want to call it. Really annoys the hell out of me. Like, there was early parts in the, or not early parts, but like parts in the game where like I kind of played a little wrong with Zygarde, thinking the wrong moves, or thinking the wrong amount of damage. I kind of let Sneasel go down, I feel, way too early, and I didn't quick protect turn 2 with Ferrothorn, even though I had it. It was stuff like that I misplayed, I felt wrong. Araquanid getting the kills like that and just threatening his team was super nice for me. I miscounted Trick Room turns, which sucked. But it came down to, if I would have had Sucker Punch, I feel I would have won that, just by the calcs that I looked up. If there's anybody that wants to prove me wrong, by all means, prove me wrong. More power to you. But basically, that's the game going right now. Good game to Jacob and everything. Sadly, we have fallen 0-2 right now. Not the hottest start in the world. In fact, it's fucking dead ice cold. But there are more games coming out. Again, games will be out every Friday. I'm trying to have team builders up every Thursday beforehand. Sometimes just life gets in the way. And I do apologize for those of you who maybe didn't like having the team builder in the beginning of this video. If you want them all in one video, let me know down below and I'll just do them all in one. Doesn't matter to me either way. I just know that starting it one way and then all of a sudden having to go a different way in the middle kind of sucks. So let me know down below what you guys think of that. Check out Jacob and his side of the battle and everything. His link is in the description and as well. Let me think if there's anything I needed to say in the description. I believe everybody in the front office is in the description as well. If not, they will be in there. All the guys in my front office that helped me build with this in this hectic week. But yeah, besides anything else, we got another week to look forward to. So, thank you guys for coming out. I'm Carson, this is Toxic Gaming. And as always, you guys stay toxic. We'll see you guys.